UFC Fight Night Vegas 59, Santos versus Hill just took place, and I'm going to go through the entire card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event, giving my reaction and breakdown to every single fight on the card, and my overall event recap as well. Let's start straight away with the early prelim opener of Mayra Bueno Silva versus Stephenie. This was a little bit of a weird one to open up the card, I'll be honest with you guys, because Mayra Bueno Silva got taken down immediately. She threw a kick, she ended up in a bit of a clinch position. Stephenie did a bit of a head and arm throw to get her to the ground, and then all of a sudden Mayra Bueno Silva locked up an arm bar on bottom, and there was a bit of weirdness because she got the submission. She allegedly got the tap because a judge was sitting right there in the perfect angle, and he said 100% I saw Stephenie tap. I did believe that Egger did tap because the way she reacted wasn't like a complete angry situation straight away or a complete protest that the fight had been stopped and stuff like that. She looked at the referee a little bit confused, like, wait, did he really jump in? Am I going to be able to play this one off or anything like that? So she tried to sort of play up the situation, but I could tell from her initial reaction that she did tap to that, because otherwise she would have been immediately protesting or saying, no, I didn't tap, because otherwise you'd immediately realize what was happening. She took too long to give a response emotionally, and that's how you kind of could tell that she was just sort of like looking at the referee thinking, what has he done? How am I going to react to this? How am I going to play this one? She tried to play it as if she didn't tap, but she did. A judge watched it cage side, so good job to Mayra Bueno Silva, who was in tears in the post-fight interview and could not stop crying. We move on to another moment up the card. Cory McKenna versus Miranda Granger. Cory McKenna get this one done by Von Flue choke in the second round. I don't think we've seen a female Von Flue choke ever, so yeah, she gets it done over Miranda Granger. I picked the underdog of Mayra Bueno Silva. I picked the underdog of Miranda Granger because I thought she would be too big on the feet for Cory McKenna, and she was landing a couple of good shots here and there, but on the ground, it was all Cory McKenna. She was too much on the ground, and she got the job done easily over Miranda Granger and finished her off with ease. No issues for Cory McKenna. Miranda Granger, so long in the game, not a single understanding of what to do on the ground. And Cory McKenna passed over, got whatever she wanted, almost had a submission at the end of round one with an arm triangle, I believe, turned it into a Von Flue in the second round and got the finish there. Moving on, up the card, Bryan Battle versus Takashi Sato. I went with Bryan Battle getting this one done. I didn't think he was going to get that done. I really didn't. He got a wicked head kick KO immediately into the first round. Couple of inside body kicks, couple of inside leg kicks, couple of leg kicks in general. Couple of front kicks to the body, I meant to say, not inside body kicks, but front kicks to the body, inside leg kicks, outside leg kicks. Then out of nowhere, he throws a little jab that lands and follows it up with a head kick behind it, right onto the jaw of Takashi Sato. Down goes Sato. An amazing finish from Bryan Battle. He gets it done with a wicked performance. He definitely got a performance bonus. I haven't seen who they gave it to yet, but I'm checking it right now. He did get one. So did Jeff Neal, and so did Mo Usman. And fight of the night went to the main event, I guess. So, moving on to another fight on the card. Great performance by Bryan Battle and a good post-fight speech as well. Sam Alvey versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. Okay, Michal Oleksiejczuk literally had the mindset in this fight, and I said this to my chat as soon as it happened. This guy, like most people, they get given these layups and they fumble them. And we'll get to another layup in a second, which is after this fight. But most people get given these layups and they fumble them or they make them look difficult. Like Sam Alvey went to a split decision with Ryan Spann. Top 15 light heavyweight contender right now. Okay, he went to a draw with Datun Young at light heavyweight. So, it's interesting. Michal Oleksiejczuk knew the objective and he knew, I'm going to make this look like a layup. And he just went straight across the cage, took a couple of hits here and there, and then just walked through him and destroyed Sam Alvey, beat him up badly, knocked him down immediately, started beating him up on the ground with some big shots here and there to the side of the head and stuff like that, as Alvey was trying to defend himself. Then after a bit of a beating on the ground, Alvey got back up, Michal Oleksiejczuk jabbed him to the body, landed a couple of body shots, went to the body again, and then went for a 1-2 right down the pipe, and landed a flush left hand right on the chin of Sam Alvey. An amazing finish, not enough for a bonus, I guess, but that's what it is. You got given a layup. You got the win. Well done. He made it look the way he was supposed to, which is more difficult than some people imagine. So, good win from Michal Oleksiejczuk. Sam Alvey should have his kids taken away from him. You shouldn't put them through that. I don't know why any fighter ever would take small children to watch their live fight. What were you thinking? You're a massive underdog. You're gonna lose. You could lose even if you think you could win. They're so young. I wouldn't even let my kids that young watch something like that on TV. You're gonna say, hey kids, watch this, and then just get defiled and destroyed by Michal Oleksiejczuk and beaten viciously? I understand why fighters do that with their little kids. Like, you're just messing up their brains. Like, wouldn't be surprised if some of these fighters' kids start beating people up at school and having real bad emotional problems and all this type of stuff. Either way, moving on to another fight up the card on the main card. Terrance McKinney versus Erick Gonzalez. Terrance McKinney got it done. First round submission. Looked good. Had a good performance. But got cracked a couple of times on the chin. So there were some moments of success for Erick Gonzalez. Terrance McKinney landing all the good shots early on, landing some good punches, landing some good kicks here and there as well. But again, Erick Gonzalez was catching him on the chin, stumbled him once, I believe, in the fight, but Terrance McKinney was still in there, recovered himself quite quickly, and got back to work. And Erick Gonzalez just couldn't really get going, and when he did get going and landed a big shot, Terrance McKinney eventually thought to himself, you know what, I'm going to try and back this guy up, use my grappling. He went for the takedown, got the takedown, took the back standing, and choked out Erick Gonzalez, who just didn't even try to defend the choke. So I have no idea what he was doing, but good job, Terrance McKinney. Got the job done in the lightweight division. A bit of a Paddy Pimblett-ish performance, which is interesting because he called out Paddy Pimblett. He went in there, was aggressive, took a big shot, ended up getting the submission. Very Paddy Pimblett-ish. He called hom out. Bisping took an L on the interview afterwards because he should have pushed on that and made him elaborate more and had a bit more of an interaction between him and Pimblett, but I doubt the UFC is going to make that matchup. Let's be real. They'll probably put Terrance McKinney against Clay Guida and Paddy Pimblett versus Jim Miller and do the youngers versus the olders. Either way, I'm down to see it next. I think McKinney would beat him by KO. Moving on. Augusto Sakai versus Sergei Spivak. Sergei Spivak. He's a great fighter. I'd love to fight him. Sergei Spivak is a great fighter. He really is. He's got a ton of experience. He's a great fighter. And he's got great grappling. He took down Augusto Sakai and took him down and beat him up on the ground real quick. And he looked great. He had a great jab on the feet as well. And now he's lost to me a couple of fights ago. Thomas Spinal, by the way. So he's bounced back, had a couple of fights. He's on a bit of a win streak right now. He took down Augusto Sakai. And Sergei Spivak showed how great he was. He got on top and landed a bunch of shots. And eventually the referee said, no more. That's enough. He doesn't want to be a hype train from Moldova or anything, but he wants to take his time and be real quick about things. Augusto Sakai lost again, kept getting taken down over and over again. By the way, round 2, I thought Sergei Spivak was going to start to gas. He got his jab going early on, got some respect on the feet, which was a big deal, and then got a good position and just full strength power drived Augusto Sakai into the canvas. Full strength power drived Augusto Sakai into the canvas. Augusto Sakai is a big dude to pick up like that. That's a lot of heavy mass that you're carrying around, so respect to the strength of Sergei Spivak, making Thomas Spinal look like a great fighter. Maybe a rematch will happen down the line. Sergei Spivak's a great fighter. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. Great fight from Sergei Spivak. We move on. Brogan Walker versus Juliana Miller. I went with Spivak, by the way, and McKinney, and also Oleksiejczuk. And I went with Walker. She was better on the feet. She wasn't better on the ground. She got taken down the same way over and over again. And then Juliana Miller eventually got enough ground and pound going. She swole up the eye of Brogan Walker in round 1. Eventually got on top in round 3 into full mount, and Brogan Walker couldn't escape, couldn't use her brain to walk up the cage and try and push off there either. So just kept rolling around on the ground, getting beaten up by Juliana Miller. And Juliana Miller got the win. And then afterwards, she literally pelted Brogan Walker. You can see the replay on the UFC Instagram page. She did a little suck it sign like DMX, and then just full on, bang, pushed her to the side of the head after the fight had been called off. If that was a male fighter, they'd be cut from the UFC forever. So risky move to pull after a fight, but it builds that attitude, I guess, and builds a bit of name value, so good for her. Juliana Miller gets it done. That's the Ultimate Fighter nowadays. Absolute sham of a fucking promotion. We move on. Mohammed Usman versus Zach Powaga. Again, speaking of a bit of a lackluster fight, Zach Powaga was doing great. Mo Usman gets it done in the second round. It does not look good. but he's got power in his hands, I guess. Landed it on Zach Puaga. I thought Zach Puaga was going to win this one by decision, just sort of outpointing Mohammed Usman and playing that game, because we saw Mo Usman on the Ultimate Fighter fail to KO a bunch of worse fighters than Zach Puaga. But this fight, Gyno, spots all over his face, spots all over his shoulders and his deltoids in his back. Of course, the corrupt pharmacist's parents as well. And, yeah, Mo Usman could not be stopped. Landed that left hand in the second round and put down Zach Puaga badly. Right on the chin. Follow-up shot needed. Not needed, but necessary anyway, I guess, for the highlight. Mo Usman gets it done over Zach Puaga. But Zach Puaga was looking good. Neither guys are really heavyweights. I feel like they should move down to the light heavyweight division. They aren't too big for the heavyweight division. But, yeah, Mo Usman won. So good for him. He got a takedown at one point-ish. Puaga got back up. Puaga landed a couple of shots at the end of round one, was picking him apart in round one in general. And Mo Usman looked terrible. Can't fight at all. No ability on the feet. No ability in the grappling. Barely committed to any of his shots. And then like a counter shoveling jabby hook landed on Zach Puaga right off the shoulder. And right on the chin of Zach Puaga it was. Put him out cold. Good job by Mohammed Usman. We move on up the card. Vicente Luque versus Jeff Neal. I told you. Luque don't move his head. Jeff Neal's got a vicious straight left hand. He's going to land it at will in that fight. I didn't think he was going to finish him in the third round. I did not think that at all. But he won this fight. Rocked Luque early in the first round. Dropped him badly as well. I actually thought in the second round Luque was starting to come back and make something happen and start to change the fight around and stuff like that. But man, Jeff Neal looked good. He looked like a great contender. He looked like a challenge for a lot of guys in that division. He didn't take many clean shots, but I don't feel like Luque was throwing many massively powerful blows on the feet against Jeff Neal. He was mainly chopping at the legs and going to the body and ripping the body with some good punches here and there as well. And yeah, eventually Jeff Neal landed enough shots to where Luque couldn't recover. Put him down in the second. I guess you should give the second round to Luque because he definitely outlanded Jeff Neal 51-40. So, in hindsight, round two, clearly Jeff Neal, or clearly Vicente Luque. Round one was Jeff Neal. I said Neal would win by hurting Luque and winning based on that and staggering him and wobbling him and maybe dropping him with straight left hands. And he did exactly that, man. Luque don't move his head off the center line whatsoever. He takes shots too much. And against a guy like Jeff Neal, you can't just keep taking those shots. And he found that out in round three. No takedown attempt. No clinch attempt. Just standing there with his hands up in the pocket. Taking left hands over and over again. Barely even throwing back at times. And eventually got finished in the third round. Great win by Jeff Neal. Amazing performance. I'd like to see him against the top guys. Called out Gilbert Burns. I doubt he'll get it. Let's do him versus Covington. Or maybe like... They'll probably give him Shavkat Rakhmonov, let's be real. Moving on. Thiago Santos versus Jamahal Hill. I went with Jamahal Hill. I went with Jamahal Hill by TKO in the later rounds. 2 or 3, I think I said. I don't think I said... I think I said late first or second. So I didn't say later rounds. Late first or second, he ended up getting it done by 4th round TKO. Thiago Santos was grappling a lot in this matchup, getting down Jamahal Hill to the canvas. He just couldn't keep him there or get him to a position where he could rest on top. And one thing Jamahal Hill was doing very well in this fight was kneeing Thiago Santos to the body while he was trying to take him down, punching Thiago Santos to the body as well, kneeing him to the head, punching him to the head. I actually gave the second round to Jamahal Hill in this fight. First round was Thiago Santos. Jamahal Hill had some moments, but Thiago Santos landed the better shots at range on the feet. Round 2 I gave to Jamahal Hill. Round 3 I actually gave to Jamahal Hill maybe as well, because again he was landing the more total strikes in the clinch and it's a damage-based fight, so I gave it to Jamahal Hill. And then round 4, it was looking good for Thiago Santos here and there, but he kept getting rocked by jabs and stuff like that. He was so tired, so exhausted. He was actually doing a lot of damage to the legs of Jamahal Hill, to the body of Jamahal Hill, landing some big haymakers of his own. But the main takeaway from Jamahal Hill in this fight is, although sloppy at times, and he has a fat belly, he's got good hustle. Takedown defense was good, and when he did get taken down, he's got good hustle. Like, no, I'm getting right back up. So he didn't have any, like, get on the floor and go, ugh, and then just sort of accept the position. He was hustling all the time to get back up where he needed to be. So good takedown defense, good hustle, good cardio for that heavy of a grappling match. To be fair, at light heavyweight, you're grappling that hard, you're going to get tired. So I take it back a little bit about the cardio. but just not as great as some of the top guys, of course. But also good finishing instinct. He took a lot of big leg kicks and good chin. Good chin. But he did take a lot of leg kicks. That's the problem when you're going to face a guy like Ankalaev or Rakic or Jan Blachowicz, who he called out, which I think should be next for him. But good for him. He showed a good chin, good cardio, good awareness to go for finishes when he needs to and put the pressure on when he needs to. And good hustle as well. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle pip, I'll see you later. Good card overall. I don't mind who the performance bonuses go to. I agree with the performance bonuses. 1 to Mo Usman, 1 punch KO. Bryan battle, head kick KO. And then Jeff Neal gets a 1 for his performance as well, for sure. And then fight of the night, yeah, main event. To be honest, I would have just not given a fight of the night and just given a performance bonus to Jamahal Hill. And then given a performance bonus to someone else in the division as well that got a finish. I don't know. Maybe like a Spivak. Sergei Spivak. He hasn't had a performance bonus yet from the UFC. He wants to take his time. I'm going to stop. See you later. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Good card.